Data types in Java. Data types defines the type of data that we can store in a variable. Types of data types in Java. Primitive and non-primitive. Primitive data types are 8. Example, int, short, long, byte, float, double, char, and boolean. Non-primitive data types. These are object data types. Example, string, array, etc. And also other non-primitive data types are also there. For example, class, object, interface. But in this video, we will discuss about string and array. By seeing this image, we will get clear clarity on data types. Mainly data types in Java are 2 types. One is primitive, and second one is non-primitive. In primitive, 2 subtypes are there. One is boolean, and second one is numeric. In boolean type, we have boolean data type. It represents either true or false. In numeric type, also there are 2 subtypes. One is character, and second one is integral. In character type, we have char data type, used to store a single alphabetical characters. In integral type, we have 2 subtypes. One is integer, and second one is floating point. In integer type, we have data type like byte, short and long, to store integer values. We will discuss about this integer data types clearly in this video. In floating point type, we have data types like float and double to store decimal values. And finally, in non-primitive type, we have string, array, and many more, like class, object, and interface. Unlike primitive data types, these are not predefined. These are user-defined data types created by programmers for multiple purposes. Byte. It is the smallest integer data type, used when you want to save storage space. The capacity of a byte is 1 byte. 1 byte equals 8 bits. It uses 8-bit signed 2's complement to store the values. Signed 2's complement means it can store both negative sign values and positive sign values. In 8 bits, 1 bit is used for sign detection, minus or plus, and remaining 7 bits are used to store values. First bit is used for sign detection, whether it is a positive number or negative number. 0 is positive number. 1 is negative number. Here we can see this example for 8-bit binary representation in this box. Here first bit is indicated with 1, so it is negative number. Byte can store values from range of -2 power 7 to 2 power 7 minus 1. Here we subtracted 1 number from 2 power 7 because here we are including 0 also, which means -128 to 0 and 0 to 127. So, to include 0, we subtracted 1 number from 2 power 7, which means -128 to 127. Syntax is byte space variable name. To write Java programs, we need an IDE. Present I am using Eclipse IDE, or you can use online compilers. To download and set up Eclipse IDE, you can check my previous video, or you can click iCard on top right of your screen, and it will redirect you to that video. Now we are creating a new class in our project to write our Java program on data types. To create a new class, right-click on our project name, then click on New. Now click on Class. Here give a name to your class. I am giving as data types. And I am checking this option because I want main method in my class by default. And now click on Finish. Hooray! Your new class is created. Now we will start writing Java program on data types. Now we will write Java program on byte data type. As we know byte syntax to create byte variable, first we need to give keyword byte and space variable name. Here you can give your own variable name. I am giving as byte var. And here I am assigning number 12. And now I will try to print it. This is the statement we use to print a variable name. Now we will execute. We got correct answer, which is 12, without any errors. Now we will try to assign 128 to this byte data type, which is not in its range. Its range is from -128 to +127. But here we are assigning 128. Let's see what will happen. See, as expected, we got an error and it is saying cannot convert from int to byte. Why? Because we can store 128 in integer data type, not in byte data type. So that's why we got this error. Now, we'll check with minus 128, which is minimum number we can store in byte data type. Minus 128 is working fine. Now, we will check with minus 129, which is out of range to a byte data type. Again, got an error, and it says cannot convert from int to byte, because we can store minus 129 in integer data type, not in byte data type. So that's why we got this error. Now, we got clarity on byte data type. Short. The capacity of a short to store values is 2 bytes, which means 16 bits. It uses 16-bit signed 2's complement to store the values. Signed 2's complement means it can store both negative values and positive values. In 16 bits, 1 bit is used for sign detection, minus or plus, and remaining 15 bits are used to store values. Short can store values from range of minus 2 power 15 to 2 power 15 minus 1, which means minus 32,768 to 32,767. Syntax is short space var name. Now we will write example program for short data type. The syntax for short data type is short keyword space variable name. You can give your own variable name. Here I am giving short var, and I am assigning 15 to it. Now I will write print statement to print the short variable. I am executing this program by clicking this little green button. Now here we got byte variable is minus 128 and 15 is came side by side. To avoid this, we have to mention print ln instead of print in printing statement. Now again we will execute. Now output came properly as required. Now, we will add string to short variable for good appearance. Strings should be mentioned in double quotes. By adding plus symbol, we will join this string and short variable side by side. And now, we will execute and let's see. See now it is came properly. Now we will try to print the range of short data type. To print that, we have to print short.max value and short.min value. Here we got short max value. We cannot assign values which are greater than this number. And for good clarity, we'll add string as short max value to this value. Again, we will execute now. Now we got short max value is 32,767. Same like this, we can print short minimum value also. So, now we successfully printed short data type range as short maximum value and short minimum value. We can add values in between these range only. Integer. The capacity of an integer to store values is 4 bytes, which means 32 bits. It uses 32-bit signed 2's complement to store the values. Signed 2's complement means it can store both negative values and positive values. In 32 bits, 1 bit is used for sign detection, minus or plus, and remaining 31 bits are used to store values. It can store values from range of minus 2 power 31 to 2 power 31 minus 1, which means this mentioned value. Syntax is int space var name. Now we will write example code for int data type. We know how to create int data type variable. The syntax is int keyword space variable name. You can give your own variable name. Here I'm giving int var. Here, I am assigning a random number like 2024. And now I will print this by writing print statement. Now I'll execute by clicking this little green button. See, in output we got int value. For better clarity, we'll add string to this int value 2024. Here I am adding string as int. And we add plus symbol to add this string to int var value. Now again we will execute. See here we got int value as 2024. We will comment this shortmax value and shortmin value by using /. When we comment like this won't execute in our program. Let's see. I'll execute again. See now we commented this min and max value of short. That's why those did not came in output. Now we will try to print int data types minimum value and maximum value. As we know the syntax to print maximum value and minimum value. Now we will write print statements to print maximum and minimum value of int. Now we will execute. We will add string as int maximum value and int minimum value to this respective maximum and minimum values. And we add plus symbol to add string to the value. Now we'll execute again. Let's see now we got output perfectly. And we can add any number in between these range. Like this we can implement int datatype variables. Long. It has the highest capacity to store values. Capacity is 8 bytes, which means 64 bits. It uses 64-bit signed-to's complement to store the values. Signed-to's complement means it can store both negative values and positive values. In 64 bits, 1 bit is used for sign detection, minus or plus, and remaining 63 bits are used to store values. Long can store values from range of -2 power 63 to 2 power 63 minus 1, which means this mentioned value. Syntax is long space var name. Now we will try to write example program for long data type. As we know syntax to create long data type variable. The syntax is long keyword space variable name. You can give your own variable name here. I am giving long var. And I am assigning a random number like 99,000. Now, I'll write print statement to print this long variable. Now I'll execute. Here we got 99,000 as long variable value. We'll add string to this value for good clarity. String should be mentioned in double quotes. And we add plus symbol to add this string to long variable value. Again, we'll execute. Here we got perfectly. Now we'll try to print long data types range. As we know syntax to print long data type range. Now we'll write print statements to print long maximum value and long minimum value. We will add string to this long maximum and minimum value. Now we will execute. Here we got long maximum and long minimum value, and we can assign any number to long data type variable in between this range. Like this, we can implement long data type variables. Float. It is used to store decimal values. It has the capacity of 4 bytes, which means 32 bits. We can use float instead of double when we want to save memory. Float can support up to 7 decimal digits. Syntax is float space varname equals 1231f. You need to mention f as suffix to the literal. Then only it becomes float literal. Otherwise, it becomes double. Now we'll write example program for float data type. We know how to create float data type variable. The syntax is float keyword space variable name. You can give your own variable name. Here I'm giving float var. And I'm assigning a random decimal number to it, like 5.123456778. You have to add letter f as suffix to the value, then only it becomes float, otherwise it becomes double. Now we will write print statement for float variable. Now we'll execute. See here, we've got float value as 5.1234557. Here in float, we have to face some minimum error when it comes to accuracy, which means float is not 100% accurate. Float has some minimum error, and we discussed that float will support up to 7 decimal points. That's why. Here we got 6 decimal points in output. If we want to have more decimal points, then we have to use double data type instead of float. Like this, we can implement float data type. Double. It is also used to store decimal digits. The capacity of double is 8 byte, which means 64-bit. This is the default choice when we want to store decimal digits. Double can support up to 16 decimals. Syntax is double space varname. Now we will write example program for double data type. And we know the syntax to create double variable. The syntax is double space variable name. You can give your own variable name. Here I'm giving double var, and here I'm assigning a random number like 4.1234567891235. Here, like float, we don't need to mention d as suffix to a double variable value. Now I will write print statement to print double variable. Now I'll execute this program. Here we got the exact value of double variable, and we discussed that double can support up to 16 decimal points. We have given 14 decimal points. Now we will try with more than 16 decimal points. Now again I will execute this code. See here now, we got 15 decimal points. Like this, we can implement double data type variables. Char. This data type is used to store alphabetical characters. The storage capacity of char data type is 2 bytes, which means 16 bits. The range to store characters are 2 power 16 is equal to 0 to 65,536. Char uses ASCII format, 0 to 255, to convert alphabets to binary representation. Syntax is char space varname. Now we will write example program for char data type. We know the syntax for creating char variable. The syntax is char keyword space and variable name. You can give your own variable name. Here I am giving char var. In char, we can assign a single alphabetical character. I'm giving alphabet M here. Now I'll write print statement to print char variable. Now I'll execute. Here see our char variable value came. Now we'll add string to this char value for good appearance. And I'll add plus to add the string to the char value. Now I'll execute again. Now we got it properly. Char uses ASCII value to represent alphabetical characters. We can know the ASCII value of m by assigning char variable to int. Now I will execute. Here see we got 109. Means here the value of m in ASCII value is 109. And ASCII values for alphabet starts from 65 to 122. In this image, we can see the ASCII values for different characters. Boolean. The Boolean data type represents a logical value that can be either true or false. The size of Boolean data type is 1 byte, which means 8 bits. The default value equals false. Syntax is Boolean space varname. Now we will write example code for Boolean data type. And we know the syntax to create Boolean variable. The syntax is Boolean space variable name. You can give your own variable name. Here I am giving Boolean var. In Boolean data type variables, we can assign either true or false. So here I'm assigning true. And now I'll write print statement to print Boolean variable. Now I will execute this code. Here we got Boolean true. Now we will change true to false because we can store false also. Now execute again. Here we got false. Like this, we can implement Boolean variables. Non-primitive data types. String. Strings are used to store alphabetical words or sentences. Strings are designed to store sequence of characters. Syntax is string space varname. Now we'll write example code for string data type. We know the syntax to create string variable. The syntax is string space variable name. You can give your own variable name. Here I'm giving str. Now, here I'm assigning a string to it as welcome to Java. Now we'll write print statement to print this string variable. Now I'll execute this code. Here we got correct answer. Like this, we can implement string variables. Arrays. Arrays are two types. Single-dimensional array, multi-dimensional array. An array is a collection of similar types of data. An array uses index format to store the elements in it. Indexing range starts from 0 to n-1. For example, if an array size is 10, then its index range is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Syntax is mentioned here. Now we will write example program on arrays. We know the syntax to create an array. We can create arrays in two ways. The first way is as follows. Now we are creating an integer array. For integer array, the syntax is int array symbol space array name. Here I'm giving AR1 as name. And here I am assigning some values in flower brackets. And now I'll print this array by using print statement. Now I'll execute this. See here we got the output in an unknown format. Means this is not the right way to print elements in an array. I will show the right way. By using for loop, we can print the elements in an array in right way. Now I'll show that. We'll discuss about for loop in another video. Now take this for reference. I'm commenting this line because I don't want to execute this line. In next line, I'm writing for loop. Now I am executing. See, now we got the output in a proper way. Means this is the proper way to print the elements in an array. And now we will create an array by using second method. Syntax is int array symbol space array name. You can give your own array name. Here I am giving array name as arr2 is equal to new space int array symbol. Here we have to mention the size of an array. Here I'm giving 5. Now I'll initialize this array by using index. Now we declared the 5 elements in this arr2. Now we will print the elements of array2 by using for loop. Now I am executing. See now we got the proper output. Means we have printed this array in right way. Like this we can implement arrays.